Welcome to Destiny 2. Apologies for the setup, but it's working. So, hello, my name is Shockwve. I'm here to introduce the raid team and our lovely commentators here. As I said, I'm Shockwve, that is Traderkirk, and over there we have the others, Alexy, Sinclair, Milkman, ThePackle, and Tokeegee. Hoi vey. I wanted to also quickly, before we start, just quickly shout out these two in here. When we submitted this, they grinded for a straight month just to get this submitted for them. So can I get a round of applause for just these two alone? Like, the amount of effort they put in just for us to submit this is seriously impressive. I just wanted to call that out. But without further ado, Datto, Cammycakes.
Hello.
It's all yours.
All right, get that headset on. Let's do this. Welcome, everyone. This is the Last Wish raid in Destiny 2. My name's Datto. This is Cammy. We're going to commentate this. One of the best raids that Bungie has ever done. We're going to wait for them to break the huddle, and then we're going to get underway. Just waiting for them to emote.
Timer starts when they break.
Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, break. Here we go. Last Wish of Destiny 2 of the Forsaken expansion. One of my favorite, if not my favorite raid that Bungie has ever made. Great, great raid experience. Now, if you're not familiar with Destiny 2 at all, or this raid, or any of the lore behind it, I'm gonna give you a very, very quick recap of what's going on here. Very bad people corrupted very good people in Secret City, and we were called by the good people to uncorrupt the good people from the bad people.
All right.
That's as short as I can make it for right now. So why don't you talk about what's this crazy movement here?
Yeah, okay, so they are sword skating. They are swiping with the sword, then activating that Warlock glide to extend it.
And there's a very good reason that they are all Warlocks. This is by far one of the fastest ways to move in the game. It takes a little bit of getting used to, you know, hitting the combo that you need to hit for all this, but it allows for insane movement speeds, and we'll see that later on the run. Right now, we're going to sort of like a Game Shark sort of thing in the raid. It allows you to punch in some codes that allow you to do certain things within the raid. Something maybe like teleporting to a specific boss, or activating some Easter eggs, or giving you an extra loot key, or something like that. Right now, I think, is Failsafe? Failsafe is the narrator. So normally in this raid, the voiceover that you hear is of various NPCs that have been sort of corrupted, and it's very ominous, and it's very kind of
ultimately
gloomy.
Serious.
Yeah, it's very serious. And oh, I think we had someone disconnect here real quick, so we're gonna get them back in.
In the meantime, though, we can continue explaining.
Yes. So Failsafe is sort of like a split personality robot on Nessus.
Yeah, bipolar robot, the Destiny waifu, whatever you want to call it.
So they activated her as one of the incentives. And so her commentary is a little more lighthearted. It's a little more funny. And so instead of hearing these very ominous sayings from the final boss, we're instead going to get Failsafe's banter, so to speak. So I think we're waiting for our disconnected player to load back in. So they're just going to restart the fight. They're just going to die on these plates here. Well, now that we have like a little more time to actually explain this fight, like I'll just do the explanation real quick. So I'll let you handle the speedrun method. So in this fight are 9 plates surrounding the boss. 6 icons in the middle, hanging from like some chandelier things, need to be essentially cleansed. So you need to match the symbols in the middle with the symbols that are on the outside plates. You stay on these plates for a certain amount of time, you kill a specific target, and then that sort of enables one of the safe havens, one of these doorways to open whenever the final boss is, or whenever this boss is about to do a big attack that kills everybody. And so you want 6 doors open so that all 6 players survive. And essentially you just kind of repeat this process over and over until the boss dies. It's not a particularly difficult fight. It's the intro fight to sort of get you familiar with learning the symbols, as the symbols are a very, very important part of the raid as a whole, as we'll see.
Okay, so what you're seeing right now is the rally flag. Someone throws that down. As long as you hit your use key next to it, it refills all your ammo and gives you a super. So this is why they wiped ahead of time so that everybody in the fire team has a super and ammo. So that really detailed explanation Datto just went through, they're not going to be doing any of that.
No. They are, so what happens during this boss is that the boss actually like teleports around to kind of annoy you and kind of boop you around to try to kill you. But as a result, she is completely vulnerable during this part. Like you can shoot her for damage. So instead of, you know, doing all the actual mechanics in the fight and having to worry about saving yourself, they all just kind of stack up, and through the use of a specific weapon called Anarchy, they're able to just kind of keep the boss just standing still
Yeah, they tether
the whole
her to
time.
the ground, get her stuck, and
Normally she would
they're
teleport
over-equipped for it.
around and stuff and just kind of be annoying, but nah, we
All right,
don't.
real
we don't need
fast
that at all.
explanations here.
If you're wondering,
Did we
we
get a
just hit $1 million.
Million.
Good job.
Congrats, AGDQ. Killing it. Killing it. Well, that was nice. That was a pleasant surprise.
So what you just saw right there was the first World Line Zip. They're using a sword called the World Line Zero. If you sprint forward, it'll allow you to do a teleport swipe, and if you do this teleport swipe off a ledge and then combo it with your Warlock's Glide, you get to fly really far.
Yeah, Warlock is the only class that's really capable of doing this due to how perfect jump there, perfect jump. Warlock's the only class that's able to do this with basically because of how their jump and canceling certain things interacts with how swords actually work. So that allows them, combined with a certain branch of their subclass and being able to do some in-air dashes, allows them to cover huge distances really quickly. And so that's why, obviously, everyone here is
Yeah, that's
a
why you
Warlock.
see 6 Warlocks.
You know.
The fastest.
So we're just, everyone's waiting.
RNG manip, you know, the usual.
Yeah. No, you need everyone at the doorway in order to start the next fight. So I'm going to start explaining this next boss named Shirochi. Shirochi loves to sing. Shirochi has a 4-minute song, and if you don't interrupt Shirochi from singing this song, everybody dies, you wipe. It's sort of like if Insane Clown Posse and the girl from The Ring made an album together. It's just after 4 minutes, you'd probably die. So what you need to do is you need to stop this boss with triangles. So after they kill all of the ads here, the faster they kill the ads, the faster the next thing happens. 3 of these plates are going to spawn 3 crystals that players can use as lasers to shoot at each other, so that they form a triangle sort of stun effect here, and that will stun the boss and make it so she is vulnerable to damage. Now you see at the bottom of the screen, she has 6 little notches of health. Every time you hit one of those 6 notches, she becomes fully stunned and will move on to the next plate. And essentially you just repeat this process 6 times, 2 on the bottom floor, 2 on the mid-level floor, and 2 on the top floor in order to kill the boss. Moving on from here though, every 2 chunks of health is a puzzle room. So what needs to happen in here is that there are a set of 9 plates in the middle. There's a picture on each of the walls, has 5 of the pieces filled in already, 4 pieces are not filled in, and so all you need to do is just fill in the missing puzzle pieces. But we have a couple of people who may not be doing that after they deal some damage to Shirochi, who I will let
Yeah, and
explain
in
it.
speedrun, it's slightly different. 4 go to the puzzle, and 2 stay behind to do some parkour to skip ahead and get a head start on those pesky ads.
Yeah, and as this will be a constant throughout the entire raid, but destroying all of the ads in an area, ads are enemies, by the way, in case that was not clear. Destroying all of these ads in an area will cause the next wave of ads to spawn in faster, and then you get that wave down, and then that causes the next thing to spawn in. So destroying ads as quickly as possible is paramount to moving quickly.
And they accomplish this with their equipment. Right now, you see a machine gun being used. This is 21% delirium. An actual chainsaw rips through everything.
It is
the more you kill, the more damage it does.
One of the best power weapons in the game. Now, you might be wondering, like, oh, well, 2 people went around and a bunch of people, they went to the puzzle room. Why wouldn't everyone just go around anyway? Well, you need to do the puzzle for Shirochi to actually spawn in on these upper levels. So that's why the 4 players go to the puzzle, and the 2 other players come up here to start getting a head start on ads, because completing the puzzle forms some platforms that allow players to go up to these next levels. So we saw Shock right here just kind of switch to a different piece of armor.
Yeah.
You know
on his
what it
armor right now, he has a perk called Taken Armaments, and if he uses his grenade to kill any of the enemies around here because they're all taken, he gets some power ammo or more machine gun ammo.
Yeah, and this machine gun that they are using right now is one of the best ad clearing weapons in the entire game. If you pick up a brick of power ammo off the ground, you get 204 bullets without needing to reload at all. Plus, on top of damage bonuses, I think Shock just crashed. So we might have to restart this particular boss, but we'll see. But this machine gun allows just for crazy ad clear. And the sniper rifle as well. If you want to talk about that one.
Izanagi's Burden. That's an exotic sniper rifle. That's like the highest tier of rarity. What you could do with that is you sacrifice 4 sniper bullets into 1 powerful bullet, and the way the math checks out is it's just efficient on all accords.
Yeah, and there's actually an upgrade to that particular weapon that you can get that upgrades that bonus damage even more. So you're loading 4 shots into 1, and then those 4 shots get a damage bonus on top of that. And as a result, this is, at this moment, one of the best weapons currently available to use for boss damage. And it also has a ton of versatility because you don't have to use all 4 shots. You can just use it as a normal sniper rifle. So the versatility on it is outstanding weapon. You may have also seen a little like circle thing with a timer on it. This is the main constant throughout the entire raid. It's called the Eye of Riven, and it has some certain functionalities that allow you to do certain things that are needed for these particular boss fights. For this one, it's not actually needed too much unless your damage is very weak, because player damage has gotten so high over the past few months that you just don't really need to use it. But what it does is it interrupts Shirochi an additional time while you're dealing damage to Shirochi. So if you need that extra time, you can stun her again and be able to deal enough damage. It looks like they are just about to clear the boss. Maybe, I can't exactly see the health bar from here, but it looks like they got it. So very well handled considering
and
someone just
5,
disconnected.
man.
Yeah, that's very good. So as I mentioned in the interview a little bit earlier, Bungie likes to put in platforming sections as opposed to trash mobs that you might find in a normal MMO raid. Trash mobs just being kind of like weaker enemies that you need to clear on your way to other bosses. So we're actually coming up on one of the scariest portions of the raid if you're going for what's called a flawless raid, which is a no-death raid. Nobody in the entire raid can die the whole time, and it's needed for a special achievement, triumph, whatever you want to call it, for a special title in-game. And there's, as we'll see as we're walking into it, it's kind of spooky. It's a little spooky. And there's a lot of like skinny platforms to jump on, and some of them are rotating as well. So these guys are just trying to go as fast as possible so that they don't miss the timing on certain rotations of the plates, because otherwise they just kind of have to stand around. Unfortunately, they were a little bit late getting there, so the platform was kind of vertical, and it's really difficult to stand on it. But that's not a huge deal. But yeah, people take this so
they
seriously.
strike themselves out, man. They really do. And over here at AGDQ, it wouldn't surprise me, but these guys are experts. They're going to pull it off.
Yeah, no, normally it's not that big of a deal to run it through, but yeah, I've been in groups where that particular section right there took longer than most of the boss fights in the raid, because no one wants to be the person who dies to nothing. No one wants to be I missed my jump onto this platform. We got to start over. So nobody wants to be that guy. So right now we're just kind of waiting for everyone to clear this platforming section before our 6th player joins back in. due to the way that some checkpoints work in Last Wish, sometimes if you rejoin a group in progress, it'll put you very, very far behind, and you'll just kind of have to run. And some of those platforming sections become like impossible because some doors get closed after certain bosses die, and there's like some weird mismatch kind of synchronization things kind of happening. So I think we're just waiting for...
So once he hits that checkpoint, he'll be able to join.
Yeah. And he is joining up right now. We got time for a donation or two.
Sure thing. Here's a $30 donation from G Superland, who says, let's hit that 1 million. It is our destiny. And thank you all for the help out there, hitting that $1 million donation total. And helping with that also, one more, Nestio Squid with $3,500, saying your move, Exo Strangers.
Wow, big time. All right, so you might have noticed that everyone just kind of like jumped off. This sort of just resets the checkpoint while someone else is loading in, so that everyone kind of gets synchronized up.
And everyone can use the rally flags.
Yes.
We can all be on the same page.
Definitely want to have full ammo for this. You know, normally throughout the course of the fight, enemies will be dropping ammo of various types. So most of the time, like, you can get all the ammo that you need, but it just helps to have everyone on the same page. Everyone's full ammo, everyone's full everything. So it looks like as soon as everyone zones in, the rally flag circle is there.
And now we can explain this encounter.
And now it's Morgoth.
So this is Morgoth, the Ogre. And what happens here is there's these auras, these dark balls around the map, and if you collect them, you get taken strength. If you collect more than 2 taken strength, you die, you're done. And to get rid of this taken strength, sometimes you get paused by the boss, and somebody needs that cannon from earlier, that
the
Eye of Ribbon, the taken gun. Use the grenade ability on it to cleanse somebody of their taken strength, and you actually steal their taken strength. So it's just really managing who has taken strength.
Yeah, it's purely a management game right here. There's going to be 10 total taken strength that drop on the field, and it's just navigating like, okay, well, I don't have any strength, so I can take from you, but you can't take from this person, so let's make sure this person grabs this and this. And again, right here, we're just looking at very, very fast ad killing. We're using some grenade launchers right here. Grenade launchers have a good amount of AoE damage, so you're able to basically kill things as soon as they spawn in. And the faster we kill things, the faster the next set of taken strength spawn in, and the faster and faster and faster. So you just want to clear out all the ads as fast as possible. And at some points, certain taken strength blobs or orbs will not spawn in until certain ads have died. So that way they're just basically spawn camping.
Yeah, I'd say more than usual speed matters here.
Yeah.
It even gives you more time to damage the boss.
Right, because Morgoth uses those taken strength in order to power himself up. And if he ever gets to 100%, everybody, you wipe, essentially. They're all kind of grouping up right behind him because...
Okay, special attention to these Nova Bombs here. They're going to be throwing them low so they don't block each other's line of sight.
50% health in a second. Yeah, they all are using Nova Bomb right now. Very fast cast, tons of damage, plus the Izanagi's burden for the damage. This boss, I mean, that boss melted, but that's honestly not that far off from how the average group is killing that boss in terms of speed, because it's just kind of a pushover. He doesn't really attack back or anything like that.
So real quick in the background, you're going to see him doing board line zips off pebbles on the floor and various couches and fixtures and whatnot.
Yeah, they just got to be careful, you know, don't run into that tree stump, don't run into that wall, because if you go too fast in this game, and you crash into a wall or a tree or something launches you or you jump too hard or something like that, you just kind of splatter on the wall, and that is not fast. No. Not fast at all. We're moving to the Vault. The Vault does not have a boss. It is more of an encounter with a specific goal in mind. We have the Vault here, and it has 3 locks on it, and we're going to be doing this 3 times for a total of 9 locks. Now, when everyone stands on the plates surrounding the lock, they're going to see 3 pictures show up right there. And for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to call this 1, 2, and 3. So whoever you assign to call it out first, it doesn't really matter who, they're going to say, oh, I have a 1, a 2, and a 3. And so whoever has the 2 being the thing in the middle, they call out, oh, I have a 2 on my series of pictures. It is on the left side of mine. And then they would call out what they have in the middle, and so on and so forth, until you get the locations of all of those particular pictures. Now, the reason the locations of those pictures are important is because it tells you what kind of lock it is. If the picture that is called out for you is on the left side, it is a penumbra lock, and if it's on the right side, it's an antumbra lock. Now, again, we have the Eye of Riven popping up, and he picks it up. This one says antumbra. It says Taken Essence Antumbra. So he needs to put the Antumbra key into the Antumbra lock. And we need to do this 9 times in 3 sets of 3 in order to open the vault and progress on to the next boss fight.
They can speed this up a little bit, though. If you notice, they made some equipment swaps. They swapped subclasses to the Voidwalker so that they can have a jump ability called Blink. That's a short-distance teleport. They also put on an exotic helmet called the Astrocyte Burst that improves your Blink. So what they're doing is, once they kill this Eye of Riven and take the Eye, the key, to go unlock it, usually a wall pops up to force you to run all the way around. But instead, they're just going to say, forget that, I'm blinking through.
Yeah, and they're trying to use the tractor cannon as well sometimes. The tractor cannon is very good as an ad-killing weapon, but it's also a physics-based weapon, so it can kind of like knock enemies around if they don't die to the initial damage. Tractor cannon, I feel like, has gotten pretty strong recently, so sometimes trying to push the Eye of Riven closer towards the door just kind of results in them dying sometimes. But yeah, trying to blink through that door is really, really helpful. You have 3 minutes to put in 3 different keys into 3 of the locks. And again, this is 3 sets of 3. So we're going to be here a little bit longer.
I'd say it's worth finding out right now how we're doing on that legit Riven fight incentive.
Oh, yeah. How's that doing?
Yeah, excellent. We are at 15,000 out of 60,000 needed to make that happen.
Okay.
There are a lot of people out there in the donation rooting for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's
what, a couple minutes off?
It's, you know, we have like maybe about 1.5 minutes.
Oh, okay, so we got it easy.
You know, I think we got it. So it looks like we're going to be doing non-legit Riven, which is far less interesting, but far faster. Fun fact about this particular raid encounter, on the very first time through, the very first team to clear this at least I don't believe they knew about the penumbra antumbra lock system. They just kind of grabbed keys and threw them into locks and essentially RNG'd their way into a completion of this encounter. I'm not 100% familiar on exactly what went down, but I think that's sort of what happened. And this fight actually held up a lot of people for a very long time. My team was the second team to beat this encounter, and we didn't beat it for like maybe, I would say 3 hours later, because we just had no idea what to do exactly. And going back to look at what the people did before us was no help, because they weren't even sure what they were doing. And the best strategy, as we know, if you don't know what you're doing, how is anyone else going to know what you're doing? So it was very, very notorious as an encounter for a first-time raid environment. So
yeah, I'd agree. Overall, this is probably my favorite raid, but that one encounter, the vault, was the choke point of almost every group.
It was literally like every group except for one. And as soon as like the first couple of groups got it, like, oh, people started putting clues together. But yeah, it was a son of a gun during that first time through, and I know my team overcomplicated the heck out of it, and but nevertheless, we got it done eventually. I can hear the epic music. I usually have music turned off for some elements. Oh, right here we have a sort of like a security guard, basically. I didn't mention him earlier, but he is essentially extra security for the vault. So every time you unlock one of the locks, one of these knights will spawn in a wave of 1, then 2, then 3, depending on which key you're on. And if he inserts his override key into the lock and it stays there for 2 to 3 seconds, everybody dies. But yeah,
that's a very, very nice. Now we're moving on to Cheesy Riven.
This is Cheese Riven, much to my chagrin. I'm pretty anti-cheese in the grand scheme of the game here, but you know what, we gotta go fast, and this is the way to do it. So I could give this very long-winded explanation of how this boss fight works. You know, you split your team into groups, and then they have to coordinate which very specific targets to shoot and which specific call-outs to make, and there's a dozen icons that you need to make call-outs for, and this and that. But we don't actually need to do any of that.
Literally none.
Yeah.
You're just gonna shoot her in the mouth.
Yeah, so We're going to see that here. Instead of them splitting into 2 groups of 3, they're just all going to stack up together.
Oh, real cool right here. You
Huge
see you see the Phoenix dive being used. You don't see that too often. What it does is it'll drop you all the way to the bottom, and because you're not supposed to be there yet, there's an artificial ceiling, and they're bouncing off of it to move forward just a little bit faster.
Yeah. God, that's such a such a goofy little maneuver as well. So, yeah, they're all going to stack up on the same side here, and normally you'd split up and there'd be a bunch of call-outs that you have to do and certain objectives that you'd have to do. But instead, during a period of weakness, oh, it looks like someone went to the wrong side. During a period of weakness, during this fight, Riven is vulnerable in her mouth region. You can kind of shoot her right in the mouth. And are they going to be wiping? Are they going to restart? Or are they going to go for it?
Let's see if they make that call.
I'm not sure. Let's see. Well, they might try in 5 minutes. So instead of doing all of that stuff, you can deal so much damage to Riven. Okay, I think they're gonna restart it. So to make sure that we can see this all the way through, you can deal so much damage to Riven during this incredibly small period of time that you skip the entire fight altogether. There's no platforming, there's no eye shooting, there's no memorization patterns, there's no elevator building, there's none of that at all, because you can just nuke the boss down in 10 seconds using very specific weapons. And it makes me sad.
The Destiny community is very crafty. This has been
huge rally.
This has been balanced out a time or two, and the Destiny community will find a way.
Yeah. Through all of the weapon balancing and nerfs and stuff, there's always been a way to get this boss down, whether it's, the days of cluster bomb rockets where everyone was just nuking the boss with not unlimited, but auto-reloading rocket launchers, to grenade launcher spam, to stacking debuffs and tractor cannon and all this kind of stuff. And even through all of those nerfs, this raid came out in September 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, more or less.
And it's been over a year now, and this boss can still be absolutely destroyed in a matter of seconds through various weaponry. So it looks like they got the right side, so they are not going to have to use a glitch that teleports you. There's a glitch that essentially you can position yourself in a way in a very specific room that makes the game think that you're out of bounds. And so instead of the game just like pushing you back, it teleports you to a place that it knows it's safe, which is at the very top where you first started. So you're actually able to switch sides depending on what side Riven starts out on. But it looks like they did not have to do that this time. So right now they're just going to be preparing with any sort of buffs that they have and just making sure they're all reloaded. Looks like they're going to be just launching grenade launcher ammo at them and then finishing it off with some Izanagi's Burden sniper shots.
Yeah, main source of damage is going to come from these grenade launchers. They have a perk called Full Court, so the further away you are, the further the grenade travels, the more damage it does.
Yeah, and you can just see the boss's health just completely tanking and dead.
All right, real cool part right here. Very tough skip. Let's see if they hit it. They're going to trick this shield enemy into booping them backwards, and if they jump up right when that happens and hold a grenade to hover, they get sent all the way to the top of this platformer.
Yeah, and let's see. Oh, just missed it. I think we're gonna
get a second attempt?
No, I think they got turned around. So, yeah, normally, as Cammy just said, if you can get that boop to happen, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough timing, but it can launch you all the way up. So instead of having to do all this platforming stuff, you just kind of get booped all the way up where that beacon of light is, and you can just yoink that right away. Again, it is kind of tough to hit, and you do need to have like a grenade held as well. But
now this is going to be cool too. One person is going to finish this off. He's going to stack
little
1-2 punch twice, give Riven the old chin check.
Yep, this is just one person. No, not letting. Okay, fine. Normally,
Marathon strats.
I think, I don't know if they had the wrong weapon on or what, but they were going to use a shotgun with an ability called 1-2 punch that gives you a massive melee damage boost to sort of just instant kill.
But they use it on both guns, so they proc it on both of them before the window goes out.
So Riven's dead, and that's not the end. We're actually going inside of Riven's mouth to steal her heart out of her body because the forces at hand are so corrupt that we literally have to take Riven's heart out of her body so that the first two bosses that we killed, they're actually cleansed now, and they can cleanse the heart of Riven because Riven is a previously thought to be extinct creature, essentially, in the Destiny universe, who is incredibly, incredibly powerful. So they need to run this heart back to the very, very beginning.
So whoever's holding this heart is really slowed down, their mobility is hindered, and so to move forward a bit faster, they use those world line zips to push their teammate who's holding the heart further a little bit.
Yeah, and just barely. You can see there's like a giant aura around it. That is to protect people from creeping darkness. Creeping darkness makes it so if you get too many stacks of it, if you get 10 stacks, that was a huge sword boob, by the way. That was a massive sword boob. If you get too many stacks of creeping darkness, you die, and you actually get teleported inside of the heart of Riven.
Oh.
Don't kill him!
Oh, almost?
Yeah. A problem with the sword boobs is you can accidentally kill your teammate by launching them into a wall.
And it's already time for another massive skip here. So what's going to happen is they're going to climb over the wall. Remember the wall? So what's going to happen is one of them's going to die next to this wall with the heart, and the other's going to grab it from the opposite side.
Yep. Game detects that you're close enough to the orb, and you know, it's like, oh yeah, you're close enough. You can pick this up, and you can just yoink it up right through the wall. And he's going to drop it
Down the hatch?
Down the hatch, and he's going to dunk this in to the well at the bottom, and that will conclude the Last Wish raid. And dunk.
And now they get their loot.
Yeah, so right after you killed Riven and stole her heart, you got a thing called an Ethereal Key, and that you use that to open up one of these chests. There's 25 chests that spawn in, and you can pick any one you want. Doesn't really matter. But one of them, we got the 1,000 voices! So one of them contains the 1,000 voices.
I've never even seen
two
it.
of them. Sometimes two of them can contain the 1,000 voices, but back to 1,000 voices? Are you kidding me? What? This gun is so rare that people have cleared this dozens of times and have never seen it once, and he just pulled 2 in a row.
He took 2. He took 3.
I have a buddy who's been clearing another raid since it came out last year, 3 times a week, still doesn't have the special one, and he just got 2 of them back to back.
I don't have it either.
Incredible.
That's insane. That, I mean, that's a good way to cap it.
God dang it.
Yeah.
He's done.
That's
he beat
it.
Destiny.
That's Last Wish. That's one of the best raids in Destiny. Hope you had fun watching.
Yeah, keep it going there one more time for Destiny 2 Last Wish. All encounters by Alexy, Sinclair, Milkman, ThePackle, Tokeegee, Traderkirk, and Shockwve. And thank you so much to our excellent couch as well. Awesome commentary there.